Coming to you from the Black Swan Media Studios, this is Fireside Chats, talking to the real difference makers in the world. Now, here is your host, John Crump.
All right, it is Tuesday. It is a great day, I guess you can say. I don't know if it is or not for you. I'm not sure if it is or not for me, but it is what it is. We are brought to you by Tusk. Tusk is the only gun-friendly cryptocurrency on the market. And let's learn about Tusk right now.
Proudly sponsored by TUSC, the only cryptocurrency designed with the firearms market in mind, with 3-second processing times. It's the fastest cryptocurrency on the planet. With lower transaction fees than traditional credit cards. It's perfect for your e-commerce needs. For gun guys, by gun guys. Visit TUSC.network for more information and join the digital revolution.
And of course, we're sponsored by Black Swan Tactical because guess what? I own the company.
Black Swan Tactical, your number one source for 2A streetwear. With shirts, mugs, hats, patches, flags, and more. There's always something to help you rep the 2A community. All proceeds go back into our projects. Viewers and listeners can take an additional 10% off with code CRUMPY. Unapologetically pro-gun, pro-liberty, and pro-freedom gear for the front lines of the culture war.
And remember, you can always take 10% off by using code CRUMPY at checkout. And I have a Patreon, patreon.com/John Crump. And I have a membership buttons on this YouTube page. I see Joe Drag out there. Joe Drag is a member of my YouTube militia here. You can join up and become a member of the YouTube militia too by just hitting that join button. You have many different options. Okay, with that said, there's a guy that I've been trying to get on the show for a long time, but apparently he doesn't like me too much because he never comes on. And, you know, I don't know why. He just gives me a hard time. But he is a firearms instructor and also he runs something called Scorched Earth, and I'm going to bring him on. I want to find out about that title and stuff like that. Scorched Earth Firearms Training. His name is Mr. Rod Mills. What is up, Rob?
Good afternoon, John. Good afternoon. Thank you. Thank you.
Why have you been avoiding me so much?
Hey, John, you know, I get stage fright whenever I'm near you. So, you know, I had to drink a bottle of vodka and come on here. And now I'm just teasing.
my big fame, right?
Some Jack Daniels, you know. Actually, I'm not even a drinker, but, you know, I play one in a television sitcom. So.
That's cool. Hey, look what I made. If you can't see it on the audio only podcast, it's a headphone stand that has the Mandalorian symbol, and it says, "This is the way."
Oh, cool. Nice. You
3D
made
printers,
it yourself?
Yeah. 3D printers are not just for guns, people.
Okay. A la Rob Pincus.
Yeah. I've been into the 3D printing scene for about 5 years now.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I actually have multiple 3D printers going on in the room next to us, but none of that has to do with guns.
Oh, okay. I got you. You're just doing stuff for the house, huh?
My kid, he wants these little Among Us characters. He wants them so you can take them apart, and they have like the little guts inside in the bone, and I don't know, some video game. So
Wow.
I'm making them like 12 Among Us characters, with like you can take apart, they separate, and they have different parts inside of them and stuff like that.
So you're like an in-house Santa Claus, pretty much, huh?
Yeah, what he thinks up, I make.
Oh man, that's cool. I wish I had something like that when I was a kid.
Yeah, so he's like, I want a toy that does this or looks like this, and then we will draw it up on the computer, mark it up on the computer, then make it.
Yeah.
He's a 7-year-old programmer too, so he's been programming video games.
Wow. Just think, when I was 7 years old, man, I had an Atari Pac-Man, and he would go hump, 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 and I thought that was like the best thing, because before, now, John, you're a lot younger than me. I'm 50.
Yeah, I'm not a lot younger than you. I'm like 5 years younger than you.
Oh, okay. So you remember the video arcades?
Oh, hell yeah, I do.
Oh, okay, yeah, and having to have a lot of quarters to go in there and spend money, to play the video games.
Yeah, you used to have to put your quarter on the machine if you wanted next.
Oh yeah, definitely. Miss Pac-Man. Hey, you put your quarter right there. Hey, whoever the best man wins, the next is up. So that was pretty cool then.
Yeah, we had a place called Tilt.
Yeah. Yep, we had one too.
Yeah, the video game arcade. And there was a few other places that had video games in there, and we would all go hang out at the video game arcade. My favorite game from the early 80s was Cubert.
I didn't like Cubert. That's the one that had the long nose and he used to jump.
Yeah,
right?
jump. You had to like go up the pyramid and.
Yeah, I think Gallagher was my favorite.
Galaga is a class. Actually, I got a Galaga, like an original restored cabinet.
Wow.
With the original boards that still work.
Wow.
Like not too far. It's just right over there. I have a little arcade with like all the original machines. So I got an arcade.
Just think some kid in his 20s is listening to this and saying, "Man, these guys are like dinosaurs."
I know, man. Hey, man. I still play video games. So.
I got beat by a friend of mine in John Madden about 15 years ago. He played for the Tennessee Titans, and he beat me like 100 and something to 0. And I officially retired at that time. I mean, this guy, he was a starting NFL linebacker, and he was actually putting his defense to like dominate my offense. I couldn't get past the 30-yard line, I don't think, unless I threw like a Hail Mary and caught it by luck. And I thought I was pretty cool, a good player back then. But when you're dealing with an NFL linebacker and he knows all different types of defensive schemes, I wasn't able to do anything.
Yeah, we have a local high school here, and talking about like a blowout, they won their last game, which is like the regional, some state finals, whatever, like 86-6. Wow.
Don't they have a mercy rule?
I know, that's what I'm saying. At what point do you at least stop trying?
Yeah, that's kind of humiliating there.
Yeah, 86-6.
86-6. Wow.
They scored a touchdown, and the other team scored a touchdown, and they had their extra point blocked.
What I want to know was, were their parents still watching them get their butt beat in the stands?
I have no idea.
I would have told my kid, I would have sent him a text saying, "Hey, I left at halftime. I'll come to pick you up after the game."
Talking about football, you used to be involved with the NFL, right?
Yeah, I was a PR rep for the Jacksonville Jaguars for 13 years. So, yeah, I was pretty much basically my job was to during the game. I didn't really do much, but I had to stay in tune with what players actually were statistically beneficial for me to interview at the end of the game. So at the end of the game, I would go down to the locker room and interview, the home team, because I was working with the home, I worked for the home team. So I would get interviews for about maybe 6-7 different players. And then at that point, we would have to go and transcribe those interviews. And then we would have to upload those interviews to a particular web page that only, reporters like ESPN, anybody around the world they would take my interview and then pretty much, it's like legal plagiarism. They would input it into their article, but I would be the one that would be actually interviewing, because you got to understand that not every network is going to have somebody go to every single football game. It's not feasible for them to do that. So they get guys like me, PR reps, to interview, and then they say, they'll do their story, and then the little quotes that I would get from the actual player, they would input that information into their story, and then voila, you go to ESPN.com, and there it is, or the Sport Network, or ProFootballTalk.com. There it is, right there, waiting on you.
You know a guy named Charlie Casterly?
I know Charlie. I don't know him personally, but I know him, as being a former GM, and now he's a NFL insider.
Yeah, his sister is married to my uncle.
Oh, okay, cool.
And
cool.
my other uncle, who's passed away, who's a lot older than my other uncle, married his mom.
Oh, okay, got you. All right.
I guess he's like a step cousin or something like that of mine.
Step cousin. All right, got you.
I don't know.
I never met him though. Out of all the people in the industry that I met over those 13 years, I never met Charlie Castle.
It's a cool guy. One interesting fact, he lived kind of near me, is the studio where he broadcast out of is actually his basement.
Oh wow! Okay.
They send the people to him.
Okay.
So he has all it looks like an NFL studio.
Ian Rappaport does that same thing though. He's a NFL insider, and they had they showed the behind the scenes set, and he's like, I don't know if he's in a basement, but he's in a room in his home, and he's sitting there with shorts on, but he's got a jacket, tie, shirt, all of that, as if he had a full suit on, but he's got shorts on right now, at that point. And I'm like, wow. And then he had the camera that moves with you like this, that, is some kind of weird camera that they have. Yeah, tracking camera. Yeah. So, yeah, it's pretty cool though. You meet a lot of people, a lot of famous people, being in the, in my position, what I did, a lot of things that I'm still actually bound that I can't discuss, things that I may have seen, but it's a little bit totally different from my perspective then versus a fan's perspective.
Yeah. MK Joe says, do you remember when they were all paintball machines? I guess that was the arcade thing. I'm not that old.
Now I do remember the pinball machines.
I do, but I don't remember they're all pinball machines.
They have some place, I think down here in Florida, where a guy, in Orlando, they have I can't think of it. It's a converted mall, and they have all of the retro pinball machines in there. They got over 100.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I never was a big pinball machine guy, but I do remember playing them as a kid though.
So you weren't a pinball wizard like Tommy?
No.
From the Who song.
Oh yeah, no, I wasn't a big pinball guy. Know.
Let's get into Scorched Earth Firearms, because this is kind of a firearm show, and we've been talking about football and and pinball machines and video games. All right. By the way, DC Mega Boost says, "What's up, Rod Mills?"
What's up, DC? What's up, my homie?
Yeah. All right. Let me ask you, how'd you name your company?
You know what? Scorched Earth is basically a military theory. I'm prior military. I'm a prior National Guard soldier in Alabama. I was a military police officer, and Scorched Earth basically is when you dominate or you have superior military skills over your enemy, and what you do is you take all of their resources away from them. Meaning, let's say if America invaded let's say Germany. Okay. All right. So they would take all of their resources, meaning that they wouldn't use, sometimes they would use some of their resources, like the German. When you think of Germany, you think of machinery, you think of quality work on automobiles, planes, military, what they would, a scorched earth theory, you would actually destroy all of that. You would destroy basically their will to exist and survive. And at that point, where anybody that you didn't kill would die anyway, because they would have no way to survive. But scorched earth also that's just one part of it. The golden pistols that I have crossing actually goes back to my military police days. With the military police badge, they have cross pistols. Those little musket pistols that they would carry back in the day. Those, if you ever look at an MP insignia, you'll see the cross pistols. So that's where that came from. Now, the color of my company, which is like an old gold, white and black, those are my college colors. I went to Alabama State University up in Montgomery, Alabama.
Wow, you put a lot of thought into this.
I did. I had a lot of time because I kept procrastinating, starting my company. I actually, theoretically, I started back in 2016, but I didn't get my logo and all of that until last year. And you'd be surprised that I was sitting in my office here, and we had, COVID had just started taking over. And I had a lot of idle time on my hands. So it gave me time to say, hey, you know what? This is the time for me to go ahead and do all the things that I wanted to do to get my company up and running right. So I went ahead and got a graphic designer to design my logo. I went and got, my tax ID number, all my business information. I went ahead and did all of that. Also, I went and did the website. The website, scorchedearthfirearmstraining.com. Got my website done. I even went ahead and instituted the Instagram page, because I was totally against Instagram. I just thought it was just dumb. But when I got my company up and running, I said, you know what? Let's go ahead and start up an Instagram page, and the rest is history, man. It's like, I've had some ups and downs in it. One thing that you learn as a self-employed business owner, that you work longer than you did when you actually work for somebody. You work harder. Yeah. And especially if you want your business to be successful. So for me, 7 days a week, last weekend, I'm going to say a month ago, I actually have been working every single weekend since last year. And that's like a record, because of the fact that so many people are coming to me for training. They know the quality of training that I provide. And they also know that, hey, you know what? I'm a good guy. Being an instructor, you have to be a psychiatrist. You have to be a motivator. You have to be a firearms expert. You have to have all of that in one,
Yeah, I mean, that is one of the things that you do realize when you run your own business, that it's a lot of damn work.
It is a lot of work.
People always say, why does the business owner get most of the money when the workers are actually doing most of the work? It's like, those are people who have never owned a business.
Yeah, exactly. And most businesses are going to normally fail within the first 2 to 3 years.
Oh, yeah.
You got to put at least, starting off, you got to put at least 50% back into your business if you want to see it grow. It'll never grow if you don't.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely, that is definitely true. I want to ask your opinion, since you are a firearms instructor. Texas is about to go to constitutional carry, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
There is a group of firearms instructors down in Texas that teach the license to carry class.
Mm-hmm.
They're called LTC instructors, license to carry instructors.
Mm-hmm.
They are actively petitioning and lobbying against concealed carry.
Yeah, they about to lose a lot of money.
Yeah. What do you think of that?
I mean, it's a double-edged sword. Hey, I would say this, if one door closes, open up another door. That's when you say, hey, you guys got your license now. You need to know how to shoot. Okay. And that's what I tell all of my clientele. I say, hey, if you're going to come and get your concealed weapons license, it is highly, quote unquote, recommended that you take my basic pistol introduction class. And they're like, why? And, I let them know that, hey, you don't know jack, when if you haven't been instructed by a professional, yeah, anybody can go to a gun range and shoot, pull a trigger and shoot ammo, but you want to make sure that you are doing things the safe way. Now, keep in mind, firearms instructors just don't teach you how to shoot. Gun safety, the best firearm instructors are first going to teach gun safety. In my class, safety comes first before anything. I tell people, hey, we're going to have fun. We're going to get a good workout in, but we're going to be safe. If we can't be safe, none of the other stuff will exist. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And I've actually read studies where it says that firearms classes don't take that big of a hit when states go to constitutional carry, which was surprising to me.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I thought about what if Florida became constitutional carry. I said, hey, you know what? That means that, hey, I will no longer be able to, do, a concealed, because we call it a concealed weapon CCW class here.
Yeah.
All right. So I would be like, hey, you know what? I can't do a concealed weapons class anymore, but that has nothing to do with my potential or earnings potential to be able to gain clientele out on the range. Because anybody can say or do certain things. Most of my people come to me because of the fact that they either, one, they want to learn how to protect themselves. Two, they bought a gun about 2 or 3 years ago, threw it in the closet, never touched it, and say, hey, and they got scared of everything that's been going on in the United States. And they say, hey, we want to get trained. And three, you get the new gun person that just bought a gun. Hey, I need to learn how to shoot. And Rod, can you teach me? And I'll tell you this, John, the one thing that I have to be cognizant of when I'm teaching my class, and I look at a lot of instructors and I take a little bit from each instructor. Yeah, I pilfer,
Everyone does. I mean, that's the way you do.
Yeah, exactly. So, but the one thing that if you look at my ratings, I always try to keep a 5-star rating. Okay. Because of the fact that you have to understand the different type of people. You have to understand your clientele. I'm gonna let you and whoever's listening to this podcast know that I am really an introvert, but I will tell you that being an instructor has really cured me of that. It's actually forced me to become an extrovert. There would be times like people would be getting out their car and I would kind of wait for them to kind of start a conversation, and I said, you know what? No, they're coming to me for a service. I have to meet them at their car, arms open, smiling, glad to meet them, motivating them, because a lot of these people, when they come, they've never been to a gun range before. They're hearing all these different guns going off in the background at the different ranges, and they are unsure of themselves. I have to make sure that, hey, I am calming them down, because if I can't get them to concentrate on what I'm teaching them, if they're concentrating on everything else around them, then I'm not being an effective firearms instructor. So, I've learned, to do certain things, calm them down, always have a smile on my face, reassuring them that, hey, you know what, We're going to have fun. We're going to have a good time, yet we're going to do it safely. And I'm going to tell you, 99% of the time, when someone takes my class, they then leave with a big smile on their face. They're saying, man, we never knew, how much, fun and how much time this take for us to be able to do this. And I thank you for your service. That makes me feel better than anything. Also when I ask them, I say, hey, look, if you want to help the next person that comes behind you, please go to Google, put on there what you think of me as an instructor, my company, and at that point, I'm at the computer waiting for them to post something because I want to know how I did. And I tell them, I say, hey, look, if I was a butthole, if you didn't feel like you had spent the money, that you wasted your money coming to me, let me know that, because if you don't let me know that, I won't know. I need you to be brutally honest with me. So, and I'm going to say I only spend 10% of my budget on marketing. 75% of my clientele comes from word of mouth. Okay. A lot of other instructors here in Jacksonville, they ask me, they say, man, you're always packed with clients. How do you do it? And I'm like, man, it's word of mouth, word of mouth. That's it.
Yeah, that's the greatest way to grow. Another question I have for you is, when people come to your class, you teach more than just static range, right?
Yeah, I do. Mm-hmm.
Do you have a lot of people who've never been off of flat range? And flat range is just, you go to the shooting range, you just go shoot, you don't move around or anything like that. When people experience that, after only being on flat ranges, what is the feedback that you get from them?
Okay, so really, they don't really even know that that's going to happen. I actually don't tell them that. I start my class off really slow. So what we start off is, we may start off at a good self-defense yardage, maybe 3 to 5 yards. I'm building their confidence up, okay? Then once they shot a couple of bullseyes and they're feeling themselves, then we go back a little bit. Then after that, what we do is this. Then I have my 3 cones. Those 3 cones are the deadly cones, because then we start going to shooting and moving. We do defensive tactics. And these are brand new people that are coming to my class, and they're doing, shoot and move type drills, defensive tactics, shooting from retention. They're doing all of that, because keep in mind now, I have to do that all in 50 rounds. So my basic pistol class, we do all of that in 50 rounds. So that means every single round that leaves that firearm, it has to be a quality round. Okay, it has to be a quality rep. Just like in the football world, when they practice, they have to have quality reps in order to have a good practice. So by the time we actually get finished, at that point, then they're like, okay, I give them just enough for them to want a little more. So what they'll do is this. Those that don't have their gun, they will then come back to me again. Now you're talking about repeat business. They'll come back to me again. What I will not do is do exactly the same thing they did the first time. I had a guy over the weekend. We were actually in the rain, which is to all you firearms instructors out there, I implore you to do that at least once. We had a pouring down monsoon rain. Okay. I'm doing defensive tactics drills with the gentleman at the range. And, he was unsure at first. He was like, man, I never shot in the rain. My hands are going to get wet. I'm like, no, forget that. I said, hey, out there on the streets, you do not control the weather. Mother Nature does. You don't control when the bad guy is going to come and try to get you. So you need to be prepared at all costs and in all weather. So we went out there. Now I will tell you this. He was dead tired after my class, because what I did was this. I'm like a offensive coordinator. I can draw up different training exercises at the snap of a thumb. Okay, so now I'm older now. I can't remember them all. So what I'll do is this: I'll put them in my computer, print out the sheet, and then go ahead and say, hey, you know what? We're doing this now. We're doing this now. So, you know, it was always a good thing for us to be able to go out there and, you know, do some drills. That guy, matter of fact, right before the podcast today, he hit me up and said, hey, man, I went ahead and put your information in Google on your review. I'm like, and I'm reading it. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, yes. So that same guy said, hey, can I come back for even a more advanced class? I said, hey, you know what? You know that I got about 15 to 20 drills that I'm going to take you through. And then at that point, he's like, man, I can't wait to come again. So I said, hey, you know, sign up. Go to the webpage. You know where to sign up at.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. I've heard of some instructors using like stuff like ketchup and stuff to simulate blood or
No, I don't do that.
yeah, are making another one thing I used to make is how do you rack a slide if you injure one hand?
Oh yeah, one hand manipulation. Matter of fact, that was one that we did on Sunday. But I threw a wrench in it. See, a lot of people do one hand manipulation with their strong hand. Guess what? I said, hey, we got to do it with the weak hand. And he was like, well, how do I do it? I said, you do it with you do it with the same way you did with your strong hand. I said, look, man, you got 5'11" jeans on. I mean, you got to. Matter of fact, he had a wallet, and it was like one of those George Costanza's wallets, and he had it in his front pocket. I said, rack it off that damn wallet you got. Now, the one thing that I was glad that he did have was a red dot sight on his gun. I think he had a H&K with a 507 Holosun 507 in it. And I said, man, rack that thing off of that doggone wallet. Racked it off, and we actually do malfunction drills with the snap caps anyway. So, you know, and I say, hey, look, I'm gonna load your magazine for you. I load it in there, and I'll put those snap caps in there. And I like to get it to where I put the snap cap, the last one before that last round in there, and because they're trying to guess all the time, like, okay, when is it coming? When's it coming? And then it finally comes at the end, and then rack it off your leg or your foot or your belt, and hit that last one. Hey, you're done. But I kind of felt kind of bad because afterwards, the guy told me, he said he had a stroke back in October. I was like, man, I said, thank God I had to fill out that injury waiver because I definitely don't want to get blamed for this guy's demise. But yeah, man, we had, that was a really good practice, a really good range time we had out there, a class that we had out there on Sunday.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I really like is like one hand manipulation and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Also, another thing that I like is teaching people how to transition from a rifle to a pistol.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because you shoot, you just don't drop it. You put your hand over.
The one thing that I do, that's the one thing that I am limited by on my range. Actually, we can't do pistol and rifle on the same range unless you have a 22 conversion kit. And the majority of, I'm going to say 95% of my clients have little to no experience. So for me to try to teach them that is not really going to benefit them anything. We got to go all the way back over to the rifle range, and we got to learn how to get sighted in. We got to do all of that. But I am doing that this weekend with a guy and his mother. Got to get him sighted in because he wants to actually go hunting. He's not looking for it for self-defense. So, that's going to be interesting. And I told him, I said, hey, look, man, no charge now. I don't believe in charging folks for rifle training classes unless we can do at least a 180. We're on a 180 field of view. I'm not going to charge you to have you sit at a gun bench and just shoot a couple of rounds down range. That's not doing anything.
Yeah. I can understand that.
Yeah.
What is the greatest challenge you have with new shooters who've never shot before?
Oh man, that person, there's one that's I'm not gonna say anti-2A, but I'm gonna call it what it is. 90% of my clients are African American. So in the Black community, unfortunately, we have a different stipulation when it comes to guns than most other races, particularly white people. In the Black community, we equivalent guns to violence, death, that sort of thing. And I have to show them, hey, look, guns ain't all about getting killed or for self-protection. There are people that come out here to actually have fun. And they're like, well, how can you have fun with a gun? I'm like, it's easy. Look at these people around you with their kids. They're out here having fun. They're doing target practice. They may be preparing for 2 and 3 gun shooting. In my range, we have cowboy action competitions out there, like one weekend out the month. So I'm like, yeah, it's not all about somebody trying to kill you or you defending yourselves, which is fine to learn. That's good to know, but guns are not all about that. So once I get that past them, and then normally that's the same person that doesn't have a gun, and they're coming out to my class and they use my gun. And, normally what I'll do is I'll start them off with the Glock 44 or a Smith & Wesson 22. And what we'll do is we'll go to the drills. I mean, hell, you got to understand, ammo is expensive out there. Now, if you want to bring your own gun and bring your own ammo, hey, do it. We can still do some get some good training in. But, the main thing is that, I try to take those folks that were either anti-gun or on the line, straddling the line, and I try to bring them over to our side. I just don't teach. I try to convert, and those that take my concealed weapons class, they know. And I put them in I give them different scenarios. Like Kyle Rittenhouse. And first thing they say, oh, he's guilty. Man, he's gonna get the book thrown out. He should go to jail forever. I'm like, well, what if I could show you that there's a good possibility that he won't go to jail, and that as a matter of fact, what he did was self-defense. And they're like, well, how are you able to do that? So you know what? I got on my favorites list Coleon's Noir's video, where he actually breaks down the whole situation. And I'm like, you know what? You can't go by what the news says or what the crowd says. You have to be right there and see for yourselves. And through technology, we were able to see. And I still say I don't think he's going to jail. Now, I'm like Coleon Noir. Hey, should any of them ever have been out there? No. None of them should have been out there because of the fact that, for one, they had some type of what was it, a law or something where they couldn't actually be out there at night, a curfew. So they were not supposed to be out there, none of them. But sometimes trouble follows you whenever you try to do good things. So my biggest thing is trying to convert them from being anti-gun. But again, I'll say 95% of the people that I teach are inherently Democrat. So trying to teach a Democrat person, a hardcore leftist, about firearms, I mean, it can happen. Hey, just because you're a Democrat doesn't mean you have to be anti-gun. Okay. And just like I know plenty of Republicans that are anti-gun, so my I'm right there in the middle. I actually vacated the Democratic Party about about maybe 4, maybe 5 years ago, and I kind of got to the point where I'm right there in the middle, because there's a part of me that is left, all right, but there's also a part of me that is conservative, So, and what I try to do is this. I mean, I'm one of those realists. If you tell me that that you agree with every single thing that the Democrats do, no matter what, that you're lying. Just like if somebody tells me on the Republican side, if you agree with single thing that the Republicans do, that's impossible. You're lying to yourselves. Nobody's going to agree with 100% every single thing that a whole party does. Okay, you have to pick and choose what benefits you, and I'm not trying to get political in here, but I tell anybody, pick and choose what benefits you. Hey, one year you may want to vote Republican. The other year you may want to vote, Democrat.
You got to be a free agent.
Yeah, I'm a man. I'm more than a free agent. I'm a mercenary when it comes to politics. So whatever benefits me, I am going to go that way.
Yeah, I mean that's the way that it should be. Have you had any issues with like the ammo shortage holding classes?
Oh yeah, I mean I had to get in. Like I say, my class normally we would shoot. I would say the beginning class about maybe 200 rounds. Now, I mean, I'm forced to go into 50 rounds, and we got to do 22 long rifle if that person doesn't go ahead and bring their own ammo. Now, I welcome them to bring their own ammo. Hey, you want to bring your own ammo? You want to spend your money, and you want to be able to do that? Hey, we can do the more ammo, the better. But I let them know that we have a minimum of 50 rounds, and we have to do that. But another thing that I've learned is that self-defense comes in all different shapes, colors, nationalities. Man, I've had NFL players come. I had a judge. I've had TV. Matter of fact, one of our major evening anchors, night TV anchors here, took a class with me. I have single moms, single dads, married couples. I've even had a birthday party on the range. Can you believe that? I had it was about maybe 6 young ladies, and they wanted to celebrate a birthday for one of the young ladies, and I went ahead and went to the Dollar Tree and got all the little decorations, balloons and everything. They come out to the range. It looks like a damn birthday party, and hey, I say, hey, we went over our safety information, and we actually went out there and started shooting and had a good time. And those ladies loved that. There was a group of attorneys, and they loved it.
Yeah, I mean, I had a group of authority come out one time and take one of my classes.
Yeah, me too. Mm-hmm. Yep, and I had the sisters of Alpha Kappa Alpha, Zeta Phi Beta, Delta Sigma Theta. They've all came and done classes with me, because at this point, because of COVID, they're forbidden from having sanctioned meetings with each other. So what they were able to do is to go ahead and fraternize at the gun range in an unsanctioned event.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Have COVID hurt you at all? Your business?
No. COVID has actually been a blessing.
That's what I'm hearing from everyone.
Man, I mean, I tell anybody, I say, hey, first and foremost, I've lost friends, people that I know to COVID, and what I don't want to do is have glory in their death. But if there is a silver lining, to anything, it's because of the fact that it has allowed me to grow, I would say 300%, from where I was the year previously, and it's continuing to grow. I'm growing, and it's like, man, I mean, actually, I'm going to tell you this, John, the funny thing, I had planned on last year, from Thanksgiving weekend all the way to the end of the year. I was just going to take off. And I would tell you, I had people in an uproar with the fact that I did that. I opened up those slots available, man, they filled up in about a half a day. Okay. And it was like, wow, I'm really, that's when it kind of hit me like, okay, you're more important. You're more than a businessman. You have a lot of important people that depend on you that are out there that are generally either afraid or they need that training, and I'm like, man, okay, I'm here for you guys. And, right now, I'm trying to decide when I want to take a vacation like you did last week. And
you know how much of a vacation that was.
yeah,
I
I
was on
heard
Hank
it was,
Strange show, and Hank Strange I said, I'm gonna take a vacation. I'm not gonna do anything but relax, blah blah
yeah.
blah. And he was like, yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
And he jinxed me.
Yeah, because then that's when Biden came over with the executive orders, right?
Yeah, then that was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
he must have waited for me to go on vacation just to do that.
Yeah, old Sleepy Joe said, yep, John's on vacation. Let's ruin it.
Yeah, I ended up on 8 conference calls and lines for like rides, but there's a lot of rides, so.
Oh yeah, definitely. You spend some time waiting in those lines unless you get fast pass.
Yeah, they don't have fast pass anymore.
Oh, that's right. They don't. Yeah, you're right. You're right. They did stop fast pass with the pandemic. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so.
Well, at least you got you had the Disney app to see which rides were the quickest to get on.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, so I didn't really get to take much of vacation. One day, I've been trying for 5 years.
Oh man, you gotta take a vacation, man. My daughter, actually, you know what? I will say this. I lied. My daughter is coming here from Atlanta. She's flying down. 26 years old. Got her graduate degree, and in the work field, paying her own bills. Has her own place. And she said, "Dad, I want to come down and spend Father's Day with you." So I said, "Well, you coming down here to spend Father's Day with me? We're gonna do what I want to do, right?" She said, "Oh yeah." I said, well, "So it's 2 things that we're gonna do." She said, "We're gonna go shoot, and just to let you guys know, I bought my daughter her gun when she turned 23 because I knew I wasn't gonna be up there to be able to protect her, and also she's got her Georgia concealed carry permit." And so she's legally can shoot with the best of them. So I said, "Hey, we're gonna go do a half a day at the range. The next day on Father's Day, we are actually going deep sea fishing."
Oh, that's
So,
nice.
yeah, now I will tell you, I had her actually fishing. When if you look at her, you wouldn't think that she was a fisherman. She's the pretty girl, type. But I had her actually fishing at 3 years old, and this will be her first time going deep sea fishing. So I'm kind of worried whether or not she's gonna get seasick and stuff like that. So I got time, for her to for me to go ahead and get some Dramamine and that sort of thing. But I let her know, hey, look, you're not gonna be able to talk on your phone while you're out there in the middle of the ocean, because we normally go about 20-25 miles off the ocean. You're not going to see any land. All we're going to be doing is fishing the whole time. And she's like, "Hey, I'm down." I'm like, "Okay, cool."
Yeah, that is cool. I can't fish.
You can't? Why not?
I'm allergic to fish.
You don't have to eat them.
I can't touch them.
Oh, you can't even touch them. Oh, wow. That is
what am I gonna do? Have someone else touch them? We got a question from the audience. What's your opinion on certified instructors versus non-certified instructors?
I have a great opinion. I was one. I was a non-certified instructor for years. And then, like I said, I went ahead and got my certification from the NRA. Now, am I a different person? I mean, to be honest with you, in I'm a range safety officer also. I'm a RSO. Honestly, because I was in the military, I mean, and I've been shooting for well over 30 years, there wasn't really anything new except for maybe a little thing here and there that I didn't know, previously. But,
Yeah.
I believe that you should get your certification. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
As a
I mean, I
business
agree.
person, yeah. As a
Eh,
business person, you should get it. Yeah.
yeah. It just makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, can you drive a car? Are you able to physically drive a car without insurance? Well, yeah, you can drive a car without insurance, but you want to have the insurance in case something happens. So same thing goes with being a certified instructor. I mean, like I said, I went through military police school. I mean, that was difficult in itself, but I will say that once I became a certified instructor, at that point, nobody can really tell you that, hey, you're not qualified. Okay. I'll tell you this. The only thing that kept me from being a certified instructor is me wanting to pay like the $700-800 for the certification here in Florida, but once I said, hey, you know what, let's go ahead and pay that. Let's get it out the way. And I'm like, okay, cool. We're good now.
Yeah. That is one thing that I did. It's not really about it's going to change the way you think or they're going to teach you any type of like hoodoo voodoo things, but it does give you like a more of like a
credibility.
Air of legitimacy.
Yeah.
And not everyone can become a certified instructor because Voda got his certification taken away.
Man, that.
What do you think of Voda?
Oh man, that I'll tell anybody this. Okay, some of the things that he was doing, I had no issue with if you were on the right type of range, and two, if you don't have beginners doing that crap. Now, if you got a Green Beret doing some of those things, that's fine, or Navy SEAL, hey, that's fine. But a lot of the things that he was doing were for beginners. I'm like, why are you having beginning people do this? This is why. That makes no sense. And then also, I'm like, hey, if you're going to do crazy stuff like that, why are you taping it? But you know why he taped it? Because he thought it was right, which he wasn't, So, guys like that hurt the firearm community in a whole. And also it does hurt Black firearm instructors as well, because the natural thing for everybody to think, oh man, he must be like Voda. No, I'm not like Voda.
Well,
Matter of fact,
you think people get you confused with Voda?
No, I would hope not.
I'm just joking.
No, I would hope that nobody does. But one thing that I did learn when I was in the military is safety first. I understood it, but I really didn't understand it until I became an instructor myself. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because you see guys at the range and they're doing all kind of crazy stuff that, they would get, yelled at and screamed at in the military, just different mannerisms, and I tell anybody, hey, look, keep the gun pointed at down range. Even in my class, I will stop a class. I will, lightly yell at a client if they point a loaded weapon at me with their finger on the trigger. And it has happened, okay? Matter of fact, I can say it probably has happened maybe 6 or 7 times, okay? Whereas they'll shoot and then they'll turn toward me with the gun. Hey, how did I do? What are you doing? And the inner drill sergeant in me or drill instructor in me wants to come out. But, I know that, hey, these people are paying me. I can't yell at them like that, but I can correct them. So that's the, couple of things that, normally that I will go against. And, you got to think, there have been plenty instructors that have gotten killed. This is a dangerous job. Don't think you're going to come out here and feel that, hey, this job is like, all hunky-dory. No, this is a dangerous job.
Yeah. The moment you forget about safety, The moment you
Yeah.
forget about safety is the moment when someone gets hurt.
Exactly. Got to remember those 4 rules.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, too many people forget those 4 rules.
Yeah. Yeah. Or they don't respect them,
Yeah.
I mean,
Nope.
everybody thinks that, that's got maybe more than 5 years experience in handling firearms that, hey, you can't tell me what to do about safety. Yeah, you can always learn.
Yeah. You don't have to be afraid of the firearm, but you should definitely respect the firearm.
Exactly. You know what, John? I make my clients kiss their gun before they shoot it
Oh yeah,
and
that's kind of
name
weird.
it. Well, guess what? Think about Elizabeth to the madness. A lot of new gun owners are afraid of that gun. But guess what? If you kiss that gun and give it a name, you're probably less apt to be afraid of it. It works, trust me.
I've never tried that.
Try it on somebody new. Say, hey, I want you to kiss it. Now you don't have to tongue them, like you're on the first
Oh,
date,
holy
you know.
crap.
But kiss the gun, give them like a little smack and name it, And once they do that, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I like this.
All right. That's kind of weird.
Now you're gonna
Yeah.
watch. You're gonna have all these instructors around here having their folks kiss guns and stuff. The
I
Rob
think
Mills
that's why
method.
I think that's why you said it, just to get other people to do it. Then you can be like, man, don't take it from those guys because they're weird. They have you kiss the guns.
Oh man, yeah. I canned the phrase "kiss your gun," name it.
Chris Shoemake wants to know what are some good choices for certifications.
Now, it depends on what they're meaning by certification.
Like
But
like I think he wants to get firearms instructor certification. Which certification should he get? NRA, USCCA.
You know what? Tomato. I got good friends of mine that have gone through USCCA. Of course, I'm an NRA instructor. Um, is there a difference when we get on the range? No, it ain't. Okay, they do things a little bit different, but we all end up at one point. And I will tell you this though, I didn't know this, but let's say if you screw up as a NRA instructor, guess who the NRA is calling to tell you what happened with that person? They're calling USCCA, okay, and vice versa. Those two, they're not in competition with each other when it comes to the instructor part. They will share information. Hey, this guy, just want to let you know, this guy did this. And from what I've been told, if you screwed up with one, the other one will not accept you.
So Voda's not going to be able to go to USCCA.
Voda might be able to get in with NAGA, National African American Gun Association. He may be able to get on with them. Hey, I'm not saying that to belittle NAGA, but to be honest with you, a dude like that, he probably don't even care about having certification. He probably wants to go out there and just teach folks, the incorrect way. But that's I got a true saying. Hey, a man that's not willing to learn is a man that's ignorant.
Yeah, that is definitely interesting. How did you stay in business?
Think about this. Think about those biker chicks that like guys that are criminals, and you ask yourself, what is she seeing him? You have people that are drawn to that type of person. He has that personality that draws people to him. But those people unfortunately put their lives at risk, or in their health in harm's way. And that's the one thing that I'm unwilling to do. I will not put your health in harm's way in any of my classes. I got a saying: there's no one that's ever taken my class that has lost a drop of blood. So you may have a slide bite here and there, but that's about the most of it.
Yeah. All right. That has been an hour, man. That went by really fast.
Man, it went by real fast.
Yeah, it's been real fun. Hold on for 1 second. I'm gonna give you the final word in 1 second. I just want to tell everyone out there, remember to sponsor our sponsors. And also go to crumpy.com for the latest stuff. Check out my news channel at John Crump News on YouTube. Go to Gunners of America, AMLand, all those good sites. And with that said, I'm going to kick it over to Rod Mills for the final word. And
Hey,
I'll put up your website as well.
yeah, hey, if you're in the Northeast Florida area and you need to get some good quality training, go to scorched.firearmstraining.com. I'm on all of the major outlets. I'm on, you know what? I got my business card here. I forget sometimes. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter at Scorched Earth FA. And I'm on Instagram at Scorched_Earth_Firearms. And if you want to send me an email, if you got some questions, email me at scorchedearthfirearmstraining@yahoo.com.
All right, that works for me. With that said, we are out of here. Tomorrow, there's no show. I'm going to be on the civil rights lawyer. You can also check Rod Mills out. He does Hank Strange show all the time, but he doesn't like me. So first time he's ever been on. 189 episodes, and this is the first time. Right.
It won't be the last. It won't be the last. Trust me. Hopefully we'll be able to talk, somewhere around NRA time.
Right. Are you going to NRA?
I am.
I don't think I'm going to be going.
Oh man,
too much going on, man. Are you going to do the IV 8888 shoot?
I haven't been invited, so I doubt it.
Oh. All right.
John Crump, a Black Swan meet.
Sorry, hit the button a little bit too. Yeah, man. We'll catch up.
Yeah,
we'll catch up somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, with the NRA, man, it ain't all about just going to the meetings now. You do get a chance to meet all the manufacturers and stuff like that now.
Yeah. It's just
that's why I go. I don't go for the political stuff. I go to meet.
Yeah. I mean, I just have too much stuff going on around that time.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Just not enough time. All right. Chris Shoemake says, hope to see you again. And I'm sure we will. All right. With that said, we are out of here. I'm going to drop us both out. And then I am going to play the outro. So you guys have fun.
John Crump, a Black Swan Media Group production. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Tune in every week for a conversation with the difference makers in the world.